Hey guys, Mike here. So this is going to be a little bit more technical than the first video. This is part 2. And we're just going to go over a little bit more of the data sheet. And I'm just going off of Logitech's website right now. This is the Brio Ultra HD Pro webcam, of course. And it is the best webcam that you can get that is plug and play. As you can see, it's currently on back order, but I was able to order and pick this up from Best Buy just yesterday, August 14th. 2020. So it is still possible to get this, and I'll have links down below. You can go ahead and check those out. That would also support the channel. All right, so this is the best webcam. They also sell it at apple.com. So if you can't find it anywhere else, sometimes Apple has in stock, but note the one that is at Apple is made specifically for their Apple iMac series. Okay, and it has a magnetic mount. I'm not too sure about that, and I haven't tried one out myself, but it is a new magnetic mount versus the one that I'm recording on right now. This is, of course, the Logitech that I'm recording on right now, but only in 1080. Okay, so if you get that one, note that the mount is going to work magnetically, and obviously that's not going to work if you don't have an iMac or something that has metal for it to attach to. Okay, so this is currently on back order. So this is their latest model, 3 years old. It will record 4K at 30 frames per second, a 1080p 30, or an ultra smooth 60 frames per second. Now, Logitech only makes 2 of them that can record at 60 frames per second. So it's this one and a new StreamCam. The new StreamCam is $270 some odd. That is an eye-watering price. I don't think it's going to drop anytime soon because we're in Corona and everybody needs a webcam. So this is your best bet if you want to get 60 frames per second at a relative reasonable price in Corona right now. Okay, and of course then you also get the 4K. I'm just using window light right now. Typically when I am recording a how-to video or recording one of these talking head videos showing the screen, I usually have a light on. I think the quality looks pretty decent. Okay, looks pretty decent right now. And that's because they have a pretty good technology that they have trademarked called Right Light 3 with high dynamic range technology that adjusts and highlights. They give you an example here. This is pretty extreme, okay? So this is not real footage from the Logitech. A lot of camera manufacturers do this a lot. This is pretty much just, this is a Photoshop job, okay? So I do know for a fact that straight off plugging in the camera, it does a pretty good job, and that's not something you're gonna get with other cheap third-party webcams. They just don't invest as much into it. So another major reason why you want to get the Brio is that it supports Windows Hello. So you don't need to type in a password to log into your Windows computers anymore if you have something that supports Windows Hello, and this is using facial recognition. If you are just looking for Windows Hello and automatically securely logging in, you don't have to spend $200 to get that. This one that I also did a review on is the Lenovo 500 Full HD webcam. This will support Windows Hello as well. I don't know which one's more secure or not. I imagine that the Logitech one's going to be more secure just because of the higher level image. So that's something to consider. I really like using Windows Hello when possible because then I don't need to type any passwords. I just need to show my face. And that's okay in my home because I don't need to put on a face mask in my own house yet. All right. So there's 3 adjustable point of views. You got 65 degrees, 78, or 90 degrees. Now, that's pretty good. The one you really want to focus on is the fact that at 90 degrees, you're getting a pretty wide view. Okay, this doesn't support 120; it supports 90. And if you do 65, that's really close up. Okay, most of us might be using this on a laptop, and you're already pretty close to your laptop already. So if you get a webcam and you don't need to show, well, whether or not you need to show your face up that close, or whether or not you want to show a little bit more of the background, have more flexibility zooming in, that's what a wider webcam is going to do. And with 4K, you have a lot of a pixel range to adjust. So if you see me in a corner right now, this is full on at the 90 degrees, but what I did was I went ahead and zoomed and cropped in. Okay, so that's something that's going to work out. So if you got 4K recording, of course, with Windows 10, XSplit, Broadcaster, OBS, Swift Capture, basically this is plug and play. I'm going to use this on my Zoom calls, GoToMeetings, Google Duos, anything like that, Facebook Messenger. It's plug and play. You don't need to install any other additional software to do that. Now, it claims to have really smooth streaming, and probably now that is in fact the case because most computers these days can actually support that. Back then, when it first came out, it had some minimum requirements for the streaming. And if you have a really budget computer or really old computer, you can have a problem. And I'd say, hey, don't go to the 4K. You're just spending too much on it. So make sure that you have a relatively new computer that you didn't buy refurbished or used, because sometimes refurbished used ones are old. So back then, I think the requirements were Core 2 Duo, which was a long time ago. I think came out like 10 years ago. So basically, you got a relatively new computer, you're going to be okay. This is also certified to work with a lot of business compatible software. So for Skyping, Microsoft Teams, Cortana, all that stuff, all these things, popular applications, it's going to work plug and play as well. It's got that built-in privacy mounting and mounting screen. It's a physical screen that just flips down over it. So I'll just demonstrate that right now. All it is just covers this up just like that. That's it. That's all that does. Okay. 5x HD zoom. That's because you have so much resolution that you can zoom in on. All right. It doesn't actually have an optical zoom, but the quality of the HD zoom is pretty decent. It's going to be a lot more better than what you're going to get elsewhere. All right, so here's some of the technical specifications. It even tells you in terms of the horizontal and vertical types of field of view. That's good there. System requirements are right here. Windows 7 or higher. Guys, don't run Windows 7. Make sure you're running Windows 8 or later. And look, Chrome OS works fine there too. 2 gigabytes of RAM or more. I haven't tried out the Chrome OS with whatever's going on with this, okay? So you're probably not going to get 4K on some of these slower computers. But it's certified with all this stuff going on right now, which is what most people use. Now you'll see the Zoom isn't on there. It's definitely it is certified for Zoom meetings. You notice GoToMeetings not on there. Facebook Messenger and all that stuff's not on there. It's going to work. Plug and play. It just shows up as a webcam. Now 4K streaming recording looks like it works with the camera for Windows 10, XSplit, and OBS. So streamers, plug and play like usual. I also use XSplit as well. That works out, and I'm using this on Camtasia. Okay. Package 3-year limited warranty. That's not bad at all. Really, what's going to go wrong with a webcam? Okay, you got this is all that's included, and I showed this in the previous video about what's included while I did a non-technical overview of the webcam. Right. So next part of this video, we're actually going to go ahead and download the software that you technically kind of pay for, because really the Logitech, when you get into the Logitech ecosystem, a lot of it is not just about the hardware. It's also about the software that you get access to and that you can go ahead and use to configure. And that's not something that you can find in a lot of these other cheaper webcams. Actually, just about all the other webcams are cheaper. All right. Okay, so we're going to go to support, and I'm going to go to downloads. I'm going to type in the Logitech Brio. Now, this software has evolved over the years. Back when I first started using it, back when I first started trying it out, it was actually pretty bloaty. It's not really great. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so it's Logitech Capture. I'm going to go ahead and download this. So here we go. It'll auto detect the OS. I'll have a link direct to this if you want to do that. But what it's going to have is some other features that could be useful to you, including transition effects, filters, text overlays, colored borders, and chroma key. So if you got a nice green screen in the background, you want to change that to something else, this will have that built in. Well, chances are if you're running OBS or some other software, if you're a gamer or streamer, you already have some software to handle that. So I'd probably just use that rather than use Logitech Capture. But let's go ahead and check this out. So I just downloaded it now. Looks like the latest version came out in June 15th of 2020. Keep in mind this is the Windows 10 version. Your Mac OS could be a little bit different. In fact, it probably will be. All right, I'm not going to share analytics data with Logitech. If you want to, you can. I'm just not going to. So this is going to take a little while. what's probably happening right now is it's still downloading some additional stuff from the website, and then yeah, doing the install. So what I'm hoping is that this does not interfere with my Camtasia. It might interfere, and if that's the case, we'll just show my screen from there. Okay, so Logitech Capture is installed. It wasn't too bad. It's pretty quick. I'm going to launch it, and probably what's going to happen is, again, it's going to say, look, we can't find your Logitech webcam, and that's because Camtasia, which is my desktop recording software right now, is using it. All right, so here we go. What's new? No, I don't need to learn about the Logitech StreamCam. Next. Text overlays and effects. Cool. Mac OS support and dark mode. I like that. Virtual camera. Add Logitech camera as a camera source to your favorite streaming platforms like YouTube, Facebook. Yep, there we go. So if you want to use the Logitech software and overlay on top of it, what you're going to do is you're going to choose Logi Capture, because that's your virtual stream cam. That's how it's basically saying, okay, take what's in this software from Logitech and use that as my webcam. And then when you go to Logi Capture, then you choose the Logitech webcam to go in there. So this is how you take advantage of all the features that are in Logi Capture. Create a Logitech ID to unlock features. Sure, why not? Okay, see, the camera's not available, and that's because another application's using it. So I am going to go ahead and see if I can stop with the camera. Can I do that? Okay, looks like I'm going to have to stop this recording and continue, and I'm going to set the recording to come in from Logitech Capture. All right, 1 second. And I'm back. So this is recording using the software, which allows me to go ahead and record the screen, allows me to do the picture-in-picture, and it has a few settings on here. Oh, you can even adjust this. You can move this around wherever that you like. That's pretty good. So if you need screen capture software, it's included with this Logitech, or actually any Logitech webcam. That's one great way to work about it. Now, I don't know if this will work with a third-party webcam, whether or not you actually need the webcam on here, but that's pretty good. Okay, so let's go over some of the settings. You can choose different sources, of course. For mine, of course, this is recording 1080p directly from the webcam right now to me. As you can see, it still blows out the light that's coming in from the window, and that's just pretty common with a lot of webcams. They're really not that great in terms of the dynamic range that you can get. There are some that are better than others, and I have not seen a better one than this as far as a webcam in this price range. Doesn't mean that you're not going to get a better one yet at a price range in the future. I'm flipping on HDR on and off. That doesn't seem to make any difference whatsoever, but in certain cases I'm sure that'll make some difference. Priority, you can choose between frame rate and exposure. I have a powerful enough computer. That's not going to make any difference whatsoever. Let's try to zoom in. Oh wow, 200% does not look that great, especially in this lighting. I'm going to flip on just a little bit of light here on the right, off to my right. Let's see what we get. Do we get any light? Where's my light? Oh, that's a red light. Yellow light, green light, cycling light. It's too bright. So you can see it blows out pretty quickly on here. So you just want some sort of even lighting. Even lighting is going to be the key. Put a little bit more there. A little bit better. Okay, so you can zoom in and out and adjust where it is. Autofocus stays on. Does a pretty good job. So see this cable here? This is the cable that it comes with. Pretty nice and beefy actually. So that's where some of your money goes, in case you were wondering. You can adjust some image settings on here. Usually you leave these alone. Let's make a few adjustments. Oh yeah, look at that. So yeah, you can play around with all this stuff. As you can see, it comes out pretty well already from the box, but look, you want to look a little bit darker. Contrast. Saturation, wow, I am all red there. Okay, I'm just going to reset that to default. I think that's going to be okay for most people. Chroma key, of course, you can change out if you have a one of these colors. Usually that's advised to be used for chroma key. Usually it's a green screen. These are also known as a green screen. Okay, so now I'm seeing that when I turn this on, you see this? It's trying to chroma key for those colors. Let me see if I can choose something else here. No, it looks like I can't. So there's really only two choices for a chroma key. These are pretty standard choices anyway. So either the green screen or the blue screen. We got some advanced settings where I can flip one side or the other, or flip vertically in case I need to mount the camera upside down. And yeah, so here are all the settings right here. What's this? Watermark is the Logitech. It just puts a little watermark Logitech logo down there. Text overlay, I can type something else on here. Hello. Internet. Okay, so I can even hide that right there. Look at that. Okay, so that's just like the bottom thirds. Duration, you can adjust that. You got a few fonts here to choose from. Background, scene effects. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Here are the filters. First filter. Nope. Second filter. I guess I got to apply to whichever source that is. So I think source 1. Okay, source 1. Let's see what happens. That's me. Black and white. I might use black and white. Polarized. Not really. This one to make the kids laugh. This is dark and gloomy. A little moody. No, this is a little warm. I kind of like this one. The warm-up one looks pretty good. This is just too sterile. That's just nothing, I think. This is blown out. This is warm. Alright, so I'm going to try that. I'm going to leave that alone here. I can add a border to the whole thing. So let's just say I want a red border. Let's see how deep I can make this here. Let's do source 1. There we go. See, you can highlight. Neat little things just to highlight certain parts of your stream, whether or not you want any highlighting. So those are what the scene effects will do. And I gotta say, I like that one scene effect. Gives it a little bit more color. Let's see how that looks overall here. Okay, so let's see. So that is with that scene effect, and to get to that, I go over to back to the scene effect right here. Basically the magic wand. These are the camera recording settings. Turns out that I am actually doing this in 720p. I thought it was higher, but no, it's actually 720p. You can adjust this when you're not recording. Unfortunately, I am recording right now. And then you got the frame per second setup. What's great is that you got an NVIDIA NVENC NVIDIA encoder feature that uses the processing power of your graphics card, if you have NVIDIA, to go ahead and not use up your CPU power. That's really cool. Audio settings, you can switch between one. So right now you can't tell, but I actually have a I have the air conditioner going on back there. But if I go ahead and switch this, let's see if we can switch this live to the Brio. It's going to sound pretty horrible. Just give it a second. So Brio, this is the Brio. So I have the air conditioner on. Probably doesn't sound that great. I'm going to switch this back to, let's see. This is the Bcaster. This is my USB microphone, and actually Crisp is the one that helps to remove the background sound. Here you can adjust and change different scenes. This is fantastic if you are live streaming and you are actually using their software. You can toggle between all the different things. So what's cool is that with all these things that I'm setting up here, this becomes, this here, right here, or the software right here becomes the, look at these different scene settings I could do. This software right here then becomes the input to the webcam of the other softwares. So when I use a third party, let's say OBS, let's say I'm inputting this to OBS, I will then choose the Logic Capture as the webcam, and anything that comes out through here with all the special effects will go through and go live into that software. So that's real benefit if you want to take advantage of all the things in here, including the green screen function, which usually you got to pay separately for if it's not already included. So for Zoom, of course, it'll magically compute that stuff. Unfortunately, that's not on here. But if I did have a green screen, or if I did want to take advantage of these other special effects that are found on here in this overlay section, let me just move this out of the way so you can see, then I could just use Logic Capture, and that's a huge benefit for people who really want to just do an all-in-one direct from their webcam without having to pay extra software. So for instance, I could type a little message here. Check out my website, mike.moo, and then I can have that basically show for 2 seconds at a time. There you go. Show that. It shows up for 2 seconds and it puts it right away and it fades away. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So I can do up to, it has 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and forever. So I just want to keep that on there. You can go ahead and do that. Now, if you are interested in this webcam, see, I can actually type this in right now. Please check out my link, Brio, B-R-I-O 4K, and that will just show up down there on the bottom. I can choose the different styles, and they have pretty decent styles. I mean, there's almost something for everyone there. I change the color, red, black. Let's go with red, and then I can change the size there. https://joe.my. Notice that this does cover up that, so I could just move this around somewhere else. But that's really great. I mean, to have something and be able to do this with the free software that comes with the Logitech, and it doesn't have to be the Brio that does this. You can download this Logic Capture for any of the Logitech webcams. That's a pretty good win. And I can change the source materials on here. Now, granted, OBS is completely free. You could just use OBS yourself, and you could use OBS and accomplish all these things and more, and that's completely free. But this is really straightforward, easy for someone to use. I just showed you practically all the features on there. This, I believe this is where it saves. Yep, here we go. So this will show you exactly where the Logic Capture is capturing the stream. All right, so that's all the features that I can find over here. Now, this does not live stream directly to YouTube or what's that, Twitch TV or anything like that. This would then basically, again, this serves as the virtual webcam. Everything that comes in here can feed directly into whatever you're streaming on. And to have these features, I think that's a real benefit. All right, so that's it for this part 2 of the video. Let me know if you have any questions. Please feel free to comment down below, and we'll go over some of these things and hopefully answer some of the questions. Hopefully this pretty much captures everything about the software with Logic Capture and Brio using the Brio 4K. All right, please give us a like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. This is recording at 1080p and full HD. This will not support recording at 4K unless I'm using a 4K screen as the actual screen. So on this laptop that I have set up for my tutorials, where I'm recording this right now, it is not going to be able to support 4K because I don't have a 4K monitor plugged in right now. But this gives you an idea at full 1080p, full screen. And I am going to remove the bottom bracket, the bottom information about the Brio. This is a sample of the Logitech C920 in comparison to the Brio at full HD. So let's jump back over to the Brio. Let's see. Go back to this one is the C920 right now, and now we'll switch back to the Brio. This is the Brio, and this is at now 65, that's 90, that's 78. Okay, so this is 90 degrees, 78 degrees, 65 degrees. We'll switch back over to the C920, Logitech C920, and really we only have one choice. So that's it. This is this is the only choice. I am not able to get any wider than this. There's no other selections on there. So again, this is the Logitech C920 right here. Logitech C920. And this is the Logitech Brio at 60. This is at 65-degree field of view. This is 78, 65, and this right here is the Logitech Brio. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found it informative. Please give me a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.